Hey everyone, this is Coffee with Soul. This is the thing where that I didn't think I was going to do, but I'm just spontaneously doing it anyway because I thought I was going to be playing some other game, but I'm not because it's not even apparently out yet, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm very thrown off today. It very much upsets me. Gosh! Oh, that's like the closest that I get to like upset about stuff. That and wiping to like the same thing over and over again because of the same mistake being made by different people every time. Not really not really into that, but anyway, let's say hi to the folks who are joining us here live, such as Jalzan. You're the first person to say hi. What's up, dude? What's up to Sincope? What's up to Fallen 99? What's up to Rye? What's up to some new folks? We got, I'm gonna love pronouncing this one. Laxalix. You're Lalafell now. That is your name. That's not really your name. It's your nickname. How about that? And Lomuse, hey, what's up? What's up to Justin Classic? And of course to all the other beautiful digital smiling faces who are going to be joining us at some points throughout the day. So I'll try to keep this coffee and WoW short because, boy, last week's was really long. But I'll try to, keep the, I'll do my best to keep the banter to a minimum. But first, I want to vent, man. I want to vent because I was going to try out a game called 12 Minutes. And I'm not going to tell you what it's about at all. In fact, I already told you a lot. It's about 12 minutes of time. And that's all that's actually all I know about it. I don't really know much more about it. But I wanted to try it out. It was an impulse thing based on a Kotaku article. No, it was either Kotaku or Polygon, one of those things. They talked about it. I read a tiny bit about it. I was like, you know what? This will be fun to try out. It's like $20. Let's give it a whirl. And it said that the planned release date is August 19th, 2021, which is today. It is, in fact, 8 hours and 39 minutes into August 19th, 2021. And it's not out yet. I can't download it. So, like, I expected to wake up this morning and be like, all right, cool. We're going to try out something new. We're going to explore new games. And we're going to share the experience together. This is going to be awesome. Motherfucker. It's hot. See how off my day is? Goodness. So at least while I examine this and watch this thing not release, I'll probably be jumping on WoW stuff, but can talk about a few things too. I did glance at something on Wowhead that there were classic era realms that were up and running on the PTR. Actually, I saw this a couple days ago, and then I saw a lot of chatter going about the internets. People asking themselves, are they going to do classic fresh? And what we mean by classic fresh is that, Blizzard would open up brand new classic era servers, vanilla, that are pristine. That I don't know if they'll have changes or whatnot, but it would basically start in phase 1 of WoW Classic again, so people can go through the motions again, sort of. A kind of a seasonal, hey, let's do this and we'll set up a new server and blah, blah, blah. So it kind of sets up one of those scenarios that many folks have talked about. The whole notion that, okay, Blizzard will set up a server, a brand new server, each time. And I don't know what'll happen. Maybe it'll be something like, oh gosh, like let's pretend like, when classic WoW vanilla first came, I'm going to be confusing myself with terms. I'm going to be going all over the place. When back in 2018 or so, when classic first released, it went from start to finish and then it's done. And then it became a classic era realm. And then people moved on to BC. Cool. So what if they do these new pristine-ish kinds of servers? Classic fresh. They make a new server. It goes through all the phases just the same way. And then at the end, it merges with that classic pool. It all just gets kind of smashed together. I can see that kind of happening, but at the same time, there's been a lot of other chatter about, hey, can we do, classic with like some different modifications, different changes where, we have, unlike the original classic WoW, unlike vanilla WoW, we have this and this and this, like small modifications, changes to the way classes worked, or like that chrono boost, whatever the thing was called, have that in at the beginning. How would that interact if later on those realms ended up merging, getting sucked up by the original classic? Or should that even be a thing? Should it be, here's the first classic server, and then here's the second one, and then the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth, and then those will just exist. In the meantime, as we're seeing another revision of classic come in, or another, classic 6, whatever, classic 69, all those people can optionally move on to the BC era realms or the Wrath realms, if or when that eventually comes out. It's kind of an interesting sort of thing. This is basically, a similar conversation that I'm sure producers and other developers on the WoW team are having too. It's like, oh, how do we want to do this? We can do all sorts of stuff. It might be cool. It might be awesome. It might be doo-doo better even. But that's going to be an interesting thing to explore. But right now we know nothing. All we know is that, hey, there was a thing on the PTR for a little while. It was up and then it's gone. But what's going to happen? Maybe Lalafell will correct me on how to pronounce their name. The US Army, let's see, and that's all I had. So I'm going to rely on you, chat, to help me out here. The US Army pulling out as Activision's esports sponsor. That's heavy. Probably one of the biggest sponsors you can have. Yes, the US Army, who was a paragon of treating women and minorities and people of color and the LGBTQIA community. They're the example to live by. That aside, for them to pull out, I'm not quite sure what the financial impact of that is. I know when it comes to the U.S. Army or the government stepping in for things like games and movies and such, I'm not quite sure how the sponsorship works, but I know there are a lot of times where movies will borrow U.S. tech, like footage, for the purpose of getting footage or equipment and stuff like that, or having people help train people for movies and other such things. But having more people pull out, good, because that's more pressure for Blizzard to change. But also at the same, and this is a little bit, this is a little bit different. Unlike before, I was talking about, oh yeah, sponsors are pulling up because they're probably going to renegotiate deals and things like that. So, I'm going with what Syncope is saying as truth. With the U.S. pulling out, they literally print money. So I don't think, I think their decision is more of them trying to kind of improve their image, I'm sure, because they have the U.S. government or armed forces, they have their own things to deal with, and this is one gesture, and because of the high profile of this whole story, it's a gesture that gets some attention. So nothing wrong with that. Don't hate Lalafell or love Lalafell. They're potatoes. Lalafell are potatoes. Keep it soul is soul for most of this. Shut up, Jalzan. You and your truth. Shouldn't it be CST because we already have we're already 8:19 in the evening already. Yeah, I'm refreshing it. I don't know if it needs to refresh. Come on, Steam, come through for me, man. Let's see. Saw that too. Oh, was I going to play Diablo 2? No. Yeah, I was going to play 12 minutes. Asmongold already made a list of demands. Look at us. You better, Blizz. You know, actually, you know what? What's this list of demands? I want to read it. I want to see the demands so I can go like to it or whatever. I wonder if it would take very much effort on Blizzard's part by extending a classic version of the game, like same systems, but dungeons and raids beyond max. And by the way, you can call you Alex. That's brilliant. Can I say Alex instead? Because that sounds almost that's like phonetic shorthand. Yes. And by the way, thank you for Kylan. Oh my Kylan, thank you. I'll try to keep talking without being distracted by my own sexy voice. But yeah, I want to see this list. I'm curious. Don't forget that WoW is still one of the best bases that you can have for an MMO. Noted the sarcasm. No, the US Army isn't exactly known for progressive thinking, but still, it's still good to see, right? And like I said, like I let active Blizz, whatever, let them bleed. Let them take the hits, the gut punches, and all that stuff. There was actually a tweet that I was reminded of. Someone on the inside, someone inside Activision Blizzard, who talked about the pay difference between, like, let's say Activision Blizzard and Amazon Games. And part of the reason that people get paid so low over at Blizzard is because they can get away with it. They can get away with a model of, oh my god, I really want to work for Blizzard because I played such and such and it's like so good. Oh, I gotta take a pay cut. Okay, that's fine. Oh, I can install it now. Look at that. Sorry, stream. We're gonna tank the quality right now because I do want to try this out. 2 gigs. Forgive me, stream, please. All right. So hopefully if you can continue hearing me, or if this is really bad, I am in fact recording, so I'll be able to have the VOD available. About pay. People were able to, Blizzard was able to get away with lower pay because they're established, they're old, people, they have a history, right? When it comes to Amazon Games, you got to think back to the .com era where you had tons and tons and tons of startups. You had tons of startups. All these people were trying to get in. You have all these people starting to get in on the action, and they paid, venture capitalists or whatever. They paid ridiculous amounts of money because they were trying to break into the scene. Amazon Games isn't all that different, according to this tweet conversation that I had. I forgot who it was from. I apologize. But the idea is, Amazon has something to prove. Right now, they have no officially released games. They had the New World beta. Some people liked it, some people didn't. But they have something to prove to people. And so because of that, they need to get talent. How do you get talent? Well, it's not because, oh yeah, I want to work for Amazon Games because they released like nothing. But what does Amazon do instead? They freaking make it rain. They pay people. They just pay people a lot more. And so they'll do that. They'll lure people in. They'll poach them. They'll do whatever it takes to get this talent in. And then they can try pumping out games and see if that investment into their people pays off. Let's say 10, 15 years down the line, if things work out, and Amazon has this fantastic history of games, chances are pretty good that recruiters and whatnot, they'll be able to bargain their way down. It's like, you want to work for us? You got to take a little cut, or you're only going to make this much, or we'll only take like these kinds of like newer, fresh folk and not pay them as much as we could. And so I think that'd be like pretty interesting. Just in the last year, my husband has been through a lot of sexual harassment, diversity, inclusion training, so that there is movement in the military. It's gonna, yeah, that's the thing. It's gonna, this whole thing is gonna take time. You know, going back to the harassment culture and that sort of thing. It's not gonna be easy. Like we've seen throughout human history that change of this sort is not easy, unfortunately. You're not a clown, Fel. You're you. Fel, you're just Fel. All these people freaking out, hype over a WoW Classic fresh servers, and like, what? They'll still be dead, my dude. I think catering to a smaller audience ain't the worst thing, right? I mean, we cater to raiders, huh? But you know what I mean by that is doing something like that. I wonder what are the efforts that go into something like that. If it's not that high, and if it makes people happy, and if it gets people, you know, going through that churn again instead of just going back to a private server, I don't see a big problem with that. What is a WoW Classic Fresh server? By the way, hi Crab. A WoW Classic Fresh server would be as if WoW Classic from 2018-ish, if that just came out. If it just came out, you know, new server, level 1, the gates of AQ are closed, we're in phase 1 of Classic, and then they go through those seasonal motions. That's all. Tweet link sent to me in Discord. Okay, cool. Also came in a tweet. How convenient. Oh, he made a picture. That's how darling. Oh, it's a classic WoW fresh wish list. Okay, I thought this was like a modern WoW fresh list. This is far less interesting to me, but I will look at it anyway. We will look at it together. You love my hair. Is it okay? Oh, I got a little tail in it. Anyway, let's take a look at this real quick. Classic WoW fresh wish list. Here's a bigger one. Let's do this. All right, so let's do this. No mage boosting. Alternatively, buff all other experience by 3 times at least, boosted further on alt. So no mage boosting. What? So no mage boosting. So they mean don't. Either the mage can't do like blizzards and level up fast, or is it more like you can't go into an instance with a mage and then have them, you know, do whatever. I think all that would happen. So I'm going to challenge these bullet points. I mean, we'll see how I feel about these, but I'm going to try to challenge them where I can. People will walk the path of least resistance. If it's not mage boosting, it's going to be something else. But triple XP. So just make leveling faster. I think that's the big thing. Just make leveling faster, so that way boosting isn't as high in demand. But I guess the thing is, boosting is still going to be in demand, and they're still going to do it. Boob slider / more character customization. I think people will be pissed. It's like, oh, you're giving more character customization there, but according to that one dude from BlizzCon Line, we're not going to get more character customization in Shadowlands. I can't snap my fingers right now, but you know what I mean. Higher ceiling for professions. So like, I guess more profession recipes. Yeah, more profession recipes, or just have it be higher and spread them out. I'm not quite sure what that means. New raids. Oh no, that I don't see that happening. But hey, this is the list of demands. No one said that this had to be like, no one had to say that this made sense. Harder fights on older content with more mechanics. I would like to see like more unnerfed content. I would like to see things like, oh, we can't cheese it with world buffs and stuff like that. I think I would like to see that. Rebalance racials. I can't really speak to that. I don't remember all the racials and stuff. No world buffs and raids. Okay, cool. No debuff limit at all. Wait, you want no world buffs and raids, but you also want no debuff limit at all. That I'm sure smart people can be like, oh yeah, do it. Then we'll see bosses melt. Yes. More powerful day night system and weather. I want that too in Shadowlands. New hard dungeons like the ATS fight in Stratholme. Rebalancing of classes. Well, that's nothing new. No combat add-ons. No combat add-ons. That's like saying no add-ons almost. I wouldn't mind seeing. This is a bad take, but I wouldn't mind seeing the disabling of advanced combat logs across the board. So that would pretty much kill Warcraft logs. That would kill simming and a lot of things, or at least it would kill more accurate simming. People would still try to do it. More realistic rated battlegrounds, faster battle reses, no respec cost. I remember I spent a whole lot of gold on respecs back in those days. I'm like 10 gold. Oh god, no. My respec costs were constantly capped because I kept messing around with stuff. More flight paths. I guess I could get behind that. No honor system. So remove the honor system. I only got so far, so I'm not quite sure how far that would go. Hunter focus. Not sure what that means. Guild banks. Guild banks would be nice, but then people had their own workarounds. They had bank alts and guild mules and stuff like that. A consumable revamp like TBC. Instant mail. A mount tab with just like in so they want account wide systems to be thrown in too. Well, I guess Classic does sit on Legion, the Legion infrastructure, so that's that I can see is possible. Remove spell batching completely. I thought that was gone. Summoning stones. I think that's kind of reasonable. New classes. List of demands. Other massive quest lines like AQ Gate Quest. Yeah, it's what we're asking for here is to design new content. AoE looting? Oh, come on, dude. That's like one of the most boomer things about Classic WoW. Minigame content, an armory. An armory is tantamount to, can we get Raider IO in Classic, please? Oh, that'll be loads of fun. I'm not quite sure how that could be, stretched or measured out. Minigame content like the Darkmoon Fair, and I already saw that. Achievement system with things to chase for. A pre-made group finder, just like in Artale. New zones, obviously. Voice acting for more quests. Wait, I thought there pretty much is no voice acting in like 85%, 90% of the stuff. Don't worry, chat, I'll catch up. Forced maximum of 55, 45 in PvP servers. Oh, that would do weird things. Yeah, I think that would do weird things. Respawn inside of instance after wipe, nerf repair cost, improve threat awareness, and generally remove artificial friction in gameplay. I'm not even going to try to talk about that because we see that people view artificial friction so differently. So to me, all friction is artificial because it's a video game designed by people, and so it's all artificial. homie. Anyway, done. At the hospital looking at my... oh, congratulations, Crab. Congratulations. Tell her I said hi. You're stalking for photos. Yeah. Put some pictures in the Discord, Crab. Guild wants to see. But yeah, big congratulations. Let me blast through chat really quick. Let's see. BL George, hey, what's up, man? What is my favorite coffee? Do I grind my own beans? These days I haven't been grinding my own beans. I've been picking up cheap grocery store coffee from Trader Joe's. That is my... They are not my sponsor. They are my sponsor. They're not really my sponsor. But for $4 a bag, I can't complain. But I do drink my coffee, black like the night. Not Shadowlands night, but more like an inky black potion / classic kind of night. Let's see. Seasonal D3 is the only reason I still play. I don't see why fresh servers wouldn't work for classic WoW too. I think it's because it would take a while. Going through it would feel kind of awkward going through the motions of like let's say if classic started in phase 4, that would feel kind of long. Let's see. No mage boost. I'm out. I wanted to brag about my baby. Everyone have a great day. All right, cool. So I hope we see some pictures from Crab later. I remember when they added the weather system and storms were so loud, they drowned out all other sounds. It was hot fixed in like a week. I don't remember that too well. Alex says, if people are so passionate about Warcraft that they'd make great sacrifices to the quality of life to work at Blizzard, wouldn't it be advisable to encourage more fan content? What's the policy around fan fiction, for example? If there is a policy, maybe encourage creators by declaring the best works as canon even. The problem with that is, oh gosh, I'm not well versed on this, but it's like tip of the tongue. I can answer this. It has a lot to do with trademark and copyright and ownership. So people like the creatives, like narrative creators on most any team, whether it's World of Warcraft or it's making movies or whatnot, they can't really allow themselves to read like fan fiction or other such things because they can't take that risk of being inspired by a fan work to make something, because it's very easy for the fandom to say, oh, well, obviously they read this and this and this, and now the author is doing this, they're just stealing from that other person. So for their own protection from liability, they just don't do that. They don't read anything. I remember reading something about how even between like folks like me who talk up ideas and things like that, how designers don't really look at that sort of stuff because same difference. It was an idea taken from him, blah blah blah. I don't know how true that is, but when it comes to creative stuff, writing and things like that, I have read about that numerous times. New raids for Classic WoW is hilariously easy these days. Literally just give a boss 3 basic mechanics and boom, it's a boss. If we're gonna talk live, I'd be all over needing a bunch more. Yeah, I would love to see more customization. There are a lot of under the hood things that I'd like to see WoW improve on. And my hope, I talked about this before, I'm hoping that with Taryn Gregory as the new creative director for cinematic stuff, that he can make a big push for saying, all right, guys, we need to work on developing new tools and upgrading the infrastructure inside, do more tweaks to the engine to allow their creators to do more with their characters. And we're seeing like tiny bits of that. I hope to see more in like a future expansion. I love how they're like, hey, here's a ton of things to change about Classic, so you want retail now. I'd love an account-wide stash on retail, at least for crafting mats. I know there was something that made me against that. No. Let me walk that back. No, I was fine with that. I think it was more like account-wide professions that I wasn't fond for. I wasn't fond of. What would raiding look like without weak auras? It looked like my raids because I don't use weak auras. Bam! Point of Classic is to go back to nostalgia and have everything like it was. I think this is, this list feels like, okay, we've had our jollies here, Blizz. We're satisfied. Now let's do some changes, I guess. Limited respec cost would be great, says Rai. In Classic, a lot of times you can't even afford to train every spell, and you'd forget to bring the latest rank spells on your hotbar. I know what I would do. Hi Umagar. I know what I did back in the day. I like as a Affliction Warlock, and I leveled a bunch of them. Not Affliction Warlock, but just as a Warlock. I would buy only the spells that I need. I wouldn't buy like Curse of Tongues and Curse of Weakness and Recklessness. Well, actually, no, I think I did buy Recklessness because I wanted to stop dudes from running away. But for the most part, like I was very picky choosy about it. And so once I hit 40, then I would almost definitely have enough gold that I need to get that initial mount right away. Unlike the plebs that have to like buy like some of the expensive thing. Suckers. But that was many moons ago now. Let's see. We want to like the old days, but with retail's quality of life changes. Oh, real quick thing. This is so. This is gonna be like so. Wow, Soul. Okay, I'm a really big whore, or I'm really strict when it comes to naming conventions. That was actually one of my really big things when I did QA, where I could tell a developer, I will not release your game because you spelled something wrong. You cannot spell, you cannot get away with not capitalizing PlayStation. Sorry, I rejected your game. Oh boy, they'd be pissed. Just the same, it took a lot for me to say vanilla WoW. That was really hard for me, but I can't. It does something to my brain to even think retail WoW, because it's not officially called retail WoW. I know that in game files it refers to it as retail, and there's so many other references, and so many people say it. But I'm just a big like, sorry, I had to share. But I'm not gonna correct people, right? I'm not that kind of person who's gonna be like, you need to say it right. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. That's super cringe. But I wanted to share. It's my damn show. So the hashtag no changes crowd would erupt into gamer rage for a lot of these. It's my opinion that WoW players don't even know what they want anymore and just complain regardless. I think that's mostly true too. There's not a no changes crowd anymore because they all stopped playing. Oh, what on earth is this list? Yeah, I know. I'm so behind chat. I'm sorry, guys. I know exactly what I wanted. I just can't express it so well as to convince Blizzard to implement it. Do you think the only people who stuck with WoW Classic were those who played the game when it was current and familiar with how it worked? I mean, if people liked it, it's not like there are 0 people there. It's just a very low amount of people there. But, and what sucks is that, I don't know if they need to aggressively keep merging all of those realms until it's just one big realm and like that's it. But will my time be respected? I have one item on my wish list. Give Hogger an Infinity Gauntlet. He periodically snaps and randomly kills half the players in the Eastern Kingdoms. Just the Eastern Kingdoms? Okay, that's a lot of people. Content would be defeated ridiculously easy. But there's a lot of people that love Wrath. Remove artificial friction. So remove leveling and all the grinds, literally everything. Yeah, I mean, removing the artificial friction, yeah, it is pretty much tantamount to, let's take out leveling, right? Let's take out the respec cost. Let's take out the rep grinds. Let's take out weapon skills. Let's take out buy-in skills. Let's just do how it is now, where you level and then you just get those abilities instantly. That's that's artificial friction if you want to, really go that far. Grocery store coffee, you monster. Oh, okay, you French. I like how you turned around. Just to share, and my father-in-law drinks Taster's Choice. If he's around whenever I'm making coffee, I make him coffee. Don't worry. But for the most part, when he's working on his own time and he does his thing, he'll just have take a spoonful of Taster's Choice, and that's stirring, by the way. Wrath I would at least contemplate playing, which I didn't for vanilla or BC lol. But Artale is where I have all my mounts. I just don't want to start all over again. I totally feel it with that. If Wrath Classic were out right now, it would probably be so much more popular than the current game. I don't know. The way that I've mostly thought it through, not even from observations, but this is just my headcanon. I think that BC Classic fell off quick because we already have it, right? It's still in today's WoW. It's still in modern WoW or whatever. You can still go to Outland. It's all there. The quests, just about all the quests, except for the Hand of Adal or whatever. All that's still there. It's still intact. So the nostalgia only really goes as far as the gameplay, and then the people who are there with you, and that's it. But today's players, you put today's players in yesterday's game, this is what happens. And right now, I think the biggest thing that's plaguing BC is not, in fact, the mounts, the boosted, the boosted characters and the mounts and all that stuff. It's the imbalance between factions and the difficulty of doing PvP stuff. And my hopes are that as the phases go along, things will get a little bit better. I actually think that they should have released Tempest Keep and Serpent Shrine Cavern all at once. I think that they should have went through all the motions and do all that stuff, because it gives people that much more stuff to do. Because right now I think people are like, well, my only path is PvP for getting gear, and then once SSC and TK and all that stuff come out, it's gonna get rolled over instantly, and I don't think that's gonna feel all that fulfilling. D3 is heavy on solid progression. Classic Fresh has weekly lockouts on content. Oh, you're making examples of friction. Everything you do for WoW or maps and games of it, all of it is ownership. Okay, so now I'm slowly getting caught up with stuff. Hi, Pony. You're on break, so you can't stay, but I'm hoping that you do well today. Thank you very much. Let's see. Oh, and you had me do squats. I'll do those later, because I think I downloaded the game now. So cool. We'll get to try out different stuff today. Why not give partial credit for borrowed ideas and talk it out ahead of time? What'd be really fun? What'd be really, really cool is if Blizzard did reach out for those sorts of ideas and then flew these people in, right? Flew a bunch of these people in, and then they got a seat at the table. That'd be kind of cool. Give them a seat at the table, talk it all out, but the agreement would ultimately be that the person who had the idea would eventually just kind of cede creative control over to the developers, because they're not an actual employee and blah, blah, blah. But they'll have a respectful sit down, and then they'll talk everything out. And, maybe they'll get an NPC in game. I don't know, something like that. And then they're yeeted off into the ether. I don't know how effective that would be. It's just a thought, but that would sound it would immediately sound cool if they were like, SoulSoBreezy, we would like you to come down. Okay, what are we gonna talk about? And then they're gonna talk about, oh, you had this idea of like this really small thing, you know. I'm like, wait, not player housing? And then they'd all look at me going like, ha 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 ha. No, bitch. But that would still be kind of a exciting thing to think about. Very fanboy. Sorry. Are you late, Guinness? Never. Unless it's... Okay, there is such thing as being too late, but it's okay. That still limits what content they can put out. If they engage with fanfics and stuff in any way, then it can be claimed that they engage with any of it, whether they did or not. Meaning anything that they create would be subject to any existing fanfic or whatever, meaning that they could be caught in endless negotiation and fights and such. Yeah, I think story, when it comes to story, that's tough because I think this is what Red Antisocial is alluding to, that like if a fanfic person has a certain idea and then, you know, a studio or whatever is like, ooh, let's do that, let's pluck that out, and then let's say like that fanfic writer goes in a totally different direction that the creators aren't happy with or something like that, or even worse, what if we find out that the fanfic writer was, you know, arrested for murder afterwards? Then that sort of taints the, you know, then there's this association. Yeah, we did what the murderer said and now we're running with it. We own that now. So I think it gets awkward. Rumor, who is a first-time chatter, says, before WoW Classic came back, I was sure what people were actually nostalgic for was Wrath, and I've yet to be convinced. I mean, yeah, people have constantly praised Wrath of the Lich King as like their favorite expansion. I still don't buy into. I still have a good feeling though that people will get their jollies in, and then they'll dip out really fast. Really fast. Is that a Baby Yoda plushie I see? It's not a plushie. It's a talking Baby Yoda. I don't think if Classic was... I don't think if Classic was, it's more popular. Classic was a hell of a lot of grind. I don't see it would be so taboo to negotiate ahead of time with a particular fanfic creator to incorporate some of their visions. A good story is a good story, and make it the creative process more flexible and inclusive in a way that generates more engaging quality content could hardly be so bad for the game. I know it might represent a huge shift for the culture, but I'm just riffing here. I think the challenge there is when it comes to this creative process with storytelling, whether it's a video game or a movie or whatnot, who should own it? Should we just let the author do their thing? Or should we let the fans dictate that? And does that affect the creative process in part of the original author? Because if you let the fans dictate a story, then then obviously it becomes, you know, their story in its in its entirety. And I adopt the idea that if you know how things are gonna go, what's the, where's the joy in that? Part of enjoying a story, I think, this is just me talking. Part of enjoying a story is for unexpected things to happen, or for someone to do something that you might not like or expect. But that is the art of it. You're being thrown out. You're being thrown for a loop. You're being misdirected, or things go in a direction that you don't like, and it's a matter of, is that going to keep you invested into the story? Those are risks that the author or the creative makes. If you just do what the fans say, then there's no risk. And that something about that, it feels like that sense of creativity is lost, because you're just following the bandwagon at that point, doing the popular thing. And I'm very mixed on that. But I get it. Being less rigid and all that. I love people who say that the boost is killing Classic from the crowd that made their own boosting extremely common through mage runs, and also say that the store mounts killed TBC Classic, even though the original TBC had its fair share of store mounts. I remember the days of the trading card game, and because and that market existed outside. That market existed in eBay before all the protections and all that stuff. It would be best if they made their own stories, and at the moment they openly dip their toe in fanfics in any way. Claims can be made by any fanfic creator, whether they've been engaged or not. I think where some of these writers, I know Krista Golden has said it numerous times, where she would say in a tweet, "Hey, I appreciate you guys sending me your ideas and your thoughts and your suggestions, but I can't read any of them," and she makes that really clear. That she can't let herself do that. And, based on how people disagree with everything that she does, it's true, right? So he is so far behind lol. Yeah. I'm happy that people are chatting though. See what happened? I thought I was going to do a short coffee with WoW, but here we go. Could have just released all the content at once, like here you go, get through it at whatever pace you want. If you're talking about Classic, I don't think I would be totally opposed to that either. He thinks he's catching up. Damn it. The D3 thing was why D3 works seasonally, because it's fast. You can beat a season in a weekend, but WoW Classic is months, 2 years or so of progress. Yeah, if it's too fast, that's tough. But I see what Monarch is saying too. Like if you just started off at the final phase and just let people have at it and race for it, let them. If anything, it would be a fun social experiment to try, right? Yeah, like what if Blizzard were to announce, all right, guys, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna release a WoW Classic Fresh server, and it's gonna last for 2 months. It's gonna start at the end of the patch or whatever, and then people can race to the end, and here's some modifications to it. It's just a short stint. I mean. I guess that would be a tough sell too, because that's still a lot of personal investment that you're putting into it for it to possibly just go away. So maybe that wouldn't be a great idea. And everyone at the table will get COVID. Nice. Well, okay, maybe not flying down, right? One thing they can get away with would be a contest where they accept submissions that keeps them out of hot water. The Pokemon Company has a hard rule of their Pokemon designers not allowed at all to look at fan-made Pokemon and must sign this in their contract in order to stop them from on purpose or on accident copying fan-made Pokemon. Which, yeah, that totally makes sense to me. Of course, some of these Pokemon, I'm like, what are these guys thinking? It wasn't long into the Pokemon franchise that I was like, okay, these definitely look like Pokemon that just didn't make it in their first pass, when they were like, all right guys, just make as many Pokemon as you can, and then people were like, all right, cool, let's go, and they're like, no. But then after a couple of years, they're like, you know what, yeah, sure, let's let's go ahead with those. Or oh, your daughter made that, oh, that's darling, okay, let's make something out of that. They were just kind of randomly making a whatever. I got to say I played Wrath and Pandaland the most. I never raided much in WoW, but in Wrath and Pandaland I played every raid and did all my dailies every day. So did I, until I ran into the daily limit. Shucks. Having individual fanfic creators and negotiating parts of the story might be good, where it's found to be fruitful, but don't have it as a vote. Oh no, I'm not talking about a vote. I'm just talking about, the content owner or Blizzard or whatever, picking, cherry picking, hey, here's a cool idea. Boop, let me get this person. Let's sit them down and all that. For all the crap Asmongold gives for the paid boost, he bought Mage Boost with gold. Oh, did he? Whoops. Well, I'm sure his response would be well, it's there. Of course I'm going to do it, but I don't think it's right. I'm sure I can think of all sorts of smart-ass comments to respond to that. See my comment about Soul keeping it short. Shut up, dude. Disagree on the D3 seasonal thing. If you want leaderboards, you're grinding every day for the entire season. I think I have 2 squats queued up now. I love tangents. I'm just reading shirts. Shucks. You say that, but the first pass had 2 Pokeballs, 3 purple Bobs, 2 Pokemon that their evolution is just more of them, and Jinx and Mr. Mime. I mean, there was already 100 some Pokemon. That's a lot of dudes to, to get the design, the animations. Well, okay, they didn't really do animations at the time, really. Abilities, even though those were shared as well. Let's see. He bought multiple mage boosts. He would get boosted commonly on stream while watching YouTube videos. Oh, that's darling. And I'm caught up. Bam! All right. Good talk, folks. I'll see you again.